Welcome to Colorful Journeys of Success. Claire Mullen, producer, host, and author of Color Wheeling for Success, explores with her guests the stages of success in their lives. This show highlights leaders, teachers, coaches, mentors, and even parents who are role models who help change our world. How have you succeeded, and who was your teacher and inspiration? Now, who are the people you teach and inspire? Listen to and watch our fascinating guests as they share colorful stories of success and how they help inspire. Now, here's Claire, the color wheeling lady and our host.
Welcome to Colorful Journey of Success. I'm so glad that you joined us. It's my pleasure to introduce today's guests. But question, the guests are supposed to be, they have a success story and then they're helping other people succeed. And our guest certainly is a perfect example of a success story helping other people. It's my pleasure to welcome Kathleen Nelson.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kathleen, for joining us. So, wow, I don't even know where to start. But let's start with your success story. You had some problems growing up, and you.
Yes.
Why don't you kind of like tell us the story, your success story?
Well, I grew up the daughter of an American person and a Japanese person. My mother was from Hiroshima. She was a survivor. And my father is American from the Midwest, and they got together, fell in love, and of course I came along a little bit later. And unfortunately, it wasn't always a happy kind of a situation. I met a lot of racism in the family and also in the schools that I ended up going to. You know, it's just the timing. It wasn't very good, unfortunately for me. I was an only child. Both my parents worked, and I was very lonely growing up. I didn't have very many friends, but I did have music, and that pretty much is what saved me. My grandmother was my inspiration for that, my father's mother. She was an organist and a pianist, and she played all different styles, and I gravitated towards that. I began studying when I was 5. I studied piano, and I ended up writing songs. And the lady I studied with in San Francisco, she was a music therapist. So,
okay.
And because I was kind of alone a lot, I wasn't really good at interacting with people. So music taught me to communicate. And
really?
It just
describe that.
Well, like I'd come home from school and I'd feel really sad, and I didn't know how to bring that out of me. And so I'd go to the piano and I'd start playing with different keys and different chords, and kind of like a painter would do with a paintbrush. They would paint bright colors or dark colors. Or
so the sounds.
The sounds are what I used for my paintings, my sound paintings, if you will.
Interesting, really interesting. So move forward a little bit as you were a teenager.
Well, when I was a teenager, I was kind of mixed up. I was very emotional and very dramatic, being a dramatic musician.
Like all teenagers are, right?
Of course, of course. But I went through some really hard times. I lost my aunt when I was about 10, and we were very close. It was my father's sister, and she was a very creative type, kind of a nature girl, and she loved poetry and music and kind of inspired me that way. And I just went through this dark period when I was about 15, and I ended up, not that I really meant to commit suicide, it was a cry for help, but I felt the depths of despair. And I ended up taking that time for soul searching, and my grandmother, my father's mother, came back into my life at that point and basically made me go to church. You are going to go to church. So she took me to the closest church to where we were living, which was a United Methodist church, and she said, well, you're going to go there, you're going to join, you're going to sing in the choir. And never mind, the choir director really didn't want to have kids my age singing in the choir, but he let me reluctantly. And then a couple years later, my grandfather passed away, and he kind of became my surrogate grandfather. And William Ward, who was the director, he happened to be the Emeritus Dean of Creative Arts Department at San Francisco State.
Wow.
Where I ended up going for my music degree.
Seems like every step along the way, music keeps coming into your life.
It's always done that, and it's always been a healing thing for me. Music has, it's been the one thing that has been my constant. When I went to state, I wanted to do well by him, and I practiced and practiced hours and hours a day to the exclusion of relationships, and ended up injuring my last 3 fingers, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th fingers of both my hands.
Wow.
And they became numb, and the pain went all the way up my arms, all the way up to my shoulder. Basically, I couldn't play for 2 years. And when you're speaking, and your form of communication, and then all of a sudden it's mute, it sent me into a horrible depression, which led me straight to chocolate cake. And as with a lot of people, and I gained about 60 pounds in a year. I think it was a record even for me. And
chocolate cake.
Yeah. Chocolate could die for and don't get me going.
I'm sorry, I don't have any today.
I know. I could use some today, but no. It just I got depressed.
But moving along,
I ended up becoming a teacher because my teacher said, well, you can either sit around, eat your chocolate cake and feel sorry for yourself, or you can make yourself useful to other people and teach others what you know.
But I want to hear about how you started actually singing. We're going to talk about how you teach others and help others in a little bit, but right now let's stay with you.
All right.
And your first song that you actually
my first song was called actually, my first song was Corporation Blues.
Okay.
And I wrote that when I was working at a law firm after I got my degrees in music, and I ended up crashing and burning in a competition in Vienna. And so I decided, well, I'm not going to be doing this anymore.
But give us a couple of stanzas.
Okay. I'm at a law firm. I was working as a legal secretary, and it was about 10 to midnight. I was there for another all-nighter. And these words just start coming out. Crying in my coffee, if you heard the news, lost my big promotion, and they went and cut me loose. I got the blues, I got the corporation blues.
Ooh, you give me chills.
Sold my soul for no control, got the corporation blues. A little frustrated there, I was bitter.
Talk about expressive. That is really expressive.
So,
how fun.
That was my angry song.
So that was your first song that you wrote?
It was my first complete song. I mean, I played around with songs and writing songs since I was a kid, but that was the first complete idea that didn't sound really bad.
Well, I know when I went on your website, the song Change?
I'll Take a Chance.
Take a Chance. So that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Give us a couple of...
Oh, that one I wrote in the middle of it was a breakup, and I was really upset, and of course, the usual thing. And so what did I do? I wrote a happy song. I wrote a song about, what I wanted to have heard from somebody at the time.
Can you sing it?
Oh, sure. It's take a chance and try again, and you will find you'll start to live again. It's not too late to turn around and try again. You'll never know what you could do if you don't begin. Don't be afraid. It's not too late to take a chance.
Oh, very good. Yeah, that was very, very extremely moving. Your video was absolutely fantastic. So anyway, move forward, okay.
Yeah, and so basically I went from there and I started writing songs, and I was writing about a song every couple months, and kind of playing with the idea that I wanted to be a singer-songwriter. That was kind of where I was at the time, because I didn't want to go back to classical piano. I didn't want to go back to the pain of competition, and I wanted to express myself, and I wanted to communicate something to the world. And I wanted to communicate empathy and encouragement and inspiration, motivation, all those things. I wanted to have more empowering thoughts, and I started reading all the books that talk about empowerment. Louise Hay, she really spoke to me, and a lot of the books, Barbara Scher, and I mean, I could go down the list for all the stuff.
So what would you say is the difference between inspiration and motivation?
Inspiration basically awakens something in you, but you may or may not do something about it. I mean, it's a great idea. I love that idea. Motivation, to me, it gives you a vehicle to move towards that idea. It moves you to act. Instead of just sitting there and thinking, oh, that's a beautiful idea. It'll teach you the idea, oh, maybe I can do that too.
That's like the chocolate cake.
Yes, I know. I have to walk away. I know. I must walk away. Oh, yes. It's one of those things, And I changed a lot of things in my life. I basically downsized out of the law firm job. I started writing resumes for people, and I ended up, by another chance encounter, meeting the director of the career coach for Monster.com. And that's where I started writing some resumes for her, and she led me to write for Guerrilla Resumes. And I did that for a couple of years while I was making my transition, quit the law job, and ended up, after the crash, of course, 2008 was not a good year with everything going with the economy. So unfortunately, I had to go back to what I thought was the last thing I would ever do, was teach again. I didn't really want to teach. I reluctantly went back into it, but I found it was so healing. And teaching is so healing, because it just you pass down this knowledge, and like I learned from my teachers, and they learned from their teachers, and it's continuing this line.
So going back, thinking back of all the classical creators like
Bach, Mozart,
Beethoven. Who was your favorite?
Well, I like this guy named Domenico Scarlatti. Who the heck is that? Okay,
right.
He was born the same year as George Frederick Handel, the guy who wrote Messiah. Hallelujah, that guy. And Bach. And I'm talking about Johann Sebastian Bach, the father, who had like 24 kids with 2 wives. But that's
24.
Oh yeah, he was a busy boy. They didn't have TV back then, So, but he was born the same year, Domenico Scarlatti, and I kind of related to him a lot because he was kind of a stifled musician, and he wanted to do more with his life, and he felt like he was limited. His father was a famous musician, and he felt he wasn't able to keep up with him. My father was he is a wonderful attorney, and he's got a great reputation, and I never wanted to be an attorney. I'd be a horrible attorney, but I worked as a secretary for a law firm, and I'm a darn good secretary, but I'm a much better musician. And that's kind of where I headed. And wherever I head in my life, music's always there to meet me, wherever I go. So.
And you said that there is color in music.
Yes. Oh, of course, yeah.
I brought this beautiful piece of artwork, and this
that's gorgeous.
My daughter created this for me. She creates artwork for my gifts. And
it's beautiful.
So I thought I'd just bring this in because it's so pretty. The colors are so beautiful.
How interesting that you chose this one. This is the lotus flower, and the lotus in Japanese, it's a symbol of rebirth. And in Buddhism, my mother's a devout Buddhist, generations old Buddhist down the family. It talks about beauty being born out of the mud. And
I see.
It's a very symbolic picture there. And that's how I feel music has taken me. It's healed me and taken me from the ugliness of my loneliness and pain and disconnection into the light of beauty and art and color. And using the chords, the different kinds of chords you use in music, different keys, it can create different moods. Like a major, I use a lot of major keys in my, major chords in my songs because I love that feeling of happiness and awe. And a lot of rock music uses minor chords to kind of create a darker, kind of a grittier sound. It's interesting what you can do with chords in music, but just like a painter uses a paintbrush to create different hues, you can do the same thing with chords and melodies to create different moods.
Well, I was looking here at the tapes here that you created. Take a Chance by Kathleen Nelson. Kathleen Nelson solo piano, and then Always Look Up. And so, wow, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed that you actually created all that music, and you created other things too. So,
well, I didn't create that, but I created that. That's the composer cards.
Keyboard composer cards.
Yeah, I use those for kids.
Who Am I series. That's wonderful. I think that the fact that you're creating not only the music, but you're also creating tools for people. That's excellent. And thank you. Your Take a Chance, the manual.
Yeah, my book.
We'll be talking about that too. And wow. Now, just out of curiosity, if you decided you wanted to take another step further up from piano, is there another musical instrument, or is
I can always tackle the organ. The organ's its own animal. My grandmother played it amazingly well, and I play it amazingly okay.
So are you thinking maybe eventually you might make that change, or how about doing a movie, a life story?
Well, I would love to do a one-woman show. That would be, that's been one of my dreams, and talking about that and using some music and weaving that through the show. That's one of the things I'd love to do. I'd love to work with empowering, especially empowering women who are going through transition. That really speaks to me.
That would be excellent, writing a book. But, you know, we'd like to hear you play, though.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we'd like to hear you maybe sit over there at that keyboard.
Oh, okay.
And play.
Just so happens to be one.
Happens to be one.
Just so happens.
Ironically, huh?
All right. Well,
so
give it a whirl.
What would you like to play for us, first of all?
Well, why don't I play a classical piece just to kind of wake up my fingers a little bit. I'd like to play a piece called Furlies. A lot of my students want to play that the first lesson usually. Hi, I want to study piano. Play Furlies. Yeah. So I think a lot of people know this one.
Fantastic, fantastic. You know, I've played that myself many times, but it certainly doesn't sound the same as yours. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
How about maybe the one that you wrote?
Oh, sure. I'll play.
If you want to sing it at the same time.
Oh, sure. Okay, I'll take a chance for you.
Okay.
Here we go. Just take a chance and try again, and you will find and start to live again. Just take it slow and pace yourself, and over time all your fears will start to melt. It's not too late to turn around and try again. You'll never know what you can do if you don't begin. Don't be afraid. It's not too late. Just take a chance. So raise your hand, reach for a star, hold it close. From wherever you are, you got it all within your grasp. So make the call, take the leap at last. It's not too late to turn around and try again. You'll never know what you can do if you don't begin. Don't be afraid. by day, keep the faith. No regret, seize today, 'cause tomorrow's not here yet. No, it's not too late to turn around and try again. You'll never know what you could do if you don't begin. Don't be afraid, it's not too late to take a chance.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. That's magnificent. I loved it.
Thank you.
Oh, good for you. I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it takes a lot to kind of overcome. And singing your songs sometimes, or at least for me, it's like singing your journal out to everybody. And it takes a while to kind of make it through that. But, you know, we are all on the same journey. We're all on the human journey.
Right.
We have fears. We have all kinds of pain that goes on. But we have a choice. You know, we can either stay in the pain and the bitterness, or we can reach out for something more.
Right.
And I love beauty, the beauty of the art, the beauty of music, the beauty of nature. You know, there's many ways to express beauty. And I try to choose that as much as possible. Yeah, I go for the chocolate cakes sometimes, but I really try to make a conscious effort to choose beauty.
Well, when I was preparing for today's show, I was thinking, oh, geez, I went to my piano, my old piano, but I went with stacks of books. And, you know, I just brought in just a few little stacks. I mean, this is just little, just a few little.
Just a few.
You know, and they're heavy.
Yes,
they're heavy.
Good weightlifting, yeah.
But, you know, there's so many, you know, when I think in terms of all the songs, all the pieces that were designed, created by musicians like yourself, talented, very talented people like yourself. It's a lot of work, hours and hours.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Many hours.
And emotions, the emotions. So let's, now you said you were going to play something like jazz?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can play a little jazz. So talking about, you know, I can, when you play with a major chord, kind of gives you kind of that expansive feeling, you know, that positive, yes, conquer the world.
And by the way, we're kind of running a little short on time, so just give us a little bit.
Okay.
We've got 3 or 4 minutes now.
No problem. Okay, so I'll play a little blues. So this is more of a pensive mood. That's a 12-bar blues, and there's many different styles. You know, you can use it kind of. So that's a very happy major chord. So very
how about a little Latin?
Example. That's a little Latin. Yeah,
a little bit.
I love Cuban music. My first teacher, the music therapist, she studied with Ernesto Lecuona, who's the national.
Wow. Well, Kathleen, I am so impressed. This is. I really enjoyed this conversation. This interview. It's been wonderful.
It's been wonderful for me.
Now, when you're teaching people. You teach students how to play like that, don't you?
Oh, yeah. They practice.
Well, that's it.
They have to do some work, you know, so I can't do it all.
Of course. But, you know, I have to really say congratulations on all your success. Over your lifetime. You've overcome a lot.
Thank you.
So you've climbed those mountains.
Well, I had a lot of help, but
well, a lot of people do have help, but they don't always move forward.
That's true.
And it sounds like you have really moved forward.
Yeah, I wanted to. And you have to want it. That's the key.
Right. So that's the inspiration. You inspired yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you have the Take a Chance manual.
That's my book, and I talk about that, my struggles and my journey. And it's got 10 chapters, and there's different exercises at the end of the chapter. Yes, I'm going to make you work too.
All right. Okay. Well, of course.
But yeah, I found it very healing for me to write that book, and I've had a lot of people comment met and how it's helped them. So I'm very grateful for that.
Excellent, excellent. So, well, I'm just thrilled that we met.
Thank you. I am too.
And we even
serendipity.
you even know Sister Suzanne.
I know, it's amazing. I sing with the first Friday to Zays over at Burlingame. So, yeah,
and that's where I went to high school, the Girls Catholic High School, Mercy High School.
So
and
small
Sister
world.
Suzanne, I remember Sister Suzanne. Oh my gosh, she was the music genius, I think.
She still is. She still is.
Yes, she is.
Amazing
How
woman.
old is she?
I think she's around 84, but
84.
You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it.
Yes. So anyway, but back to you specifically. You have done an amazing. You're just amazing. How about that?
Well, thank you. That's very.
Do you want to
sweet.
close our? Let's think in terms of how we're going to close today's show.
Oh, okay.
Something inspiring. What? Talk about it first, though, real quick.
Oh, okay. I have a song called "Love Is All Around."
Love is all around.
And basically, it's my thank you to the universe and how God, or whatever you want to call God, people have different names. I call it love, and how love basically is all around, just waiting for us to notice it, whether
Well, why
it's in
don't
a
you
flower.
just start playing?
Yeah.
When I raise my hand, I'm going to have to switch over to the audience.
That sounds fun. Close your eyes. What do you see?
Okay. Thank you so much for joining Colorful Journey of Success. Wasn't this fantastic? Isn't she amazing? Thank you so much for joining this show. My name is Claire Mullen, Colorful Journey of Success. Keep going.
Don't you know love is all around you, wanting to surround you? You're the one that love has waited for. Step in the light, take my hand. It's okay to cry, I will understand. You've lived in your pain too long a time.
Please join us. By the way, if you happen to have a story you'd like to tell, please let me know, because we can share. Then, go ahead. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Was absolutely wonderful. And I'm sure our audience was inspired too. So
Well, thank you for having me on. It was an honor.
Oh, wow.